No one communicated the process of what was going to transpire. Once the trees are cleared off, there's riggers coming in. They begin to build the drilling apparatus, which is 100 feet high. Once the drilling begins, they drill for 3 days, 24 hours straight. There's lights as if you were in a stadium. At 2 o'clock in the morning, you could read the newspaper. It's so bright. We're running the fans in our bathroom to try to muffle the noise so that we could sleep at night.
I don't want drilling in residential neighborhoods, but when they told us we're going to get mandatory pooled anyhow, we signed a contract based on a well going 400 to 500 feet in that direction.
In an open field.
Not in our backyard. Mandatory pooling is if we decide we don't want a well in that 20-acre unit, we cannot sign. The driller can then go to the state and propose that we get mandatory pooled, which means the state just overrides our no signature. Too bad. Out of the 1,400 permits issued last year, only 5 or 6 were rejected.
We bought this piece of property based on the creek that runs through it, mature trees on it. It's early April, nothing is budded out yet. You know, we had a heavy winter, lots of snow. I'm hearing trees falling down. I'm looking out my window and I'm realizing the trees are falling down in my backyard. I'm very concerned. I'm calling Ohio Valley. They're explaining to me there is no mistake. That's where the well's going. This is the document that I received from Ohio Valley when they went door to door. This is the proposed property, the Horizne property, with a little dot indicating where the well was to be located. So the well is now located on the Kovar property, right behind my property, the Braun property. 150 feet from my house, several hundred feet from where I was told the well was going to be. Here's the document. It shows the burden of drilling and production operations would be confined to the Horizne land. I'm turning to my council people. I'm turning to my law directors. I'm Broadview Heights and Brecksville trying to get people to work together. Everyone listened to my story, but not one person did any actions. I pulled the actual permit to find out the well was going on the property that wasn't even mentioned in any of the communication, any of the written documents. This is the actual permit that's been filed, and we can see landowner surface Frank and Carol Horizne. Again, here's the Horizne property. The dot indicating the Horizne unit is located on John and Marie Kovar's property. And here we see 55 feet. It's 55 feet from my property line.
In Ohio Valley, just plain out lied and played bait and switch. We've probably limited the amount of people that are willing to look at a house with a family that's got a gas well 55 feet off of its property line and probably 155 feet from my home.
That's not what I signed off on. That's not what Ohio Valley agreed with me.
So they lied. Now that the well's in, they're basically sitting there saying, yeah, there's nothing you can do about it at this point. People have said before, well, you're going to get a check. The check's, I could care less. It's infinitesimal. By the time you take your taxes out, you've depreciated your property, you have a zero sum. They played bait and switch. They came on, they lied to everybody on our street. Most of our street has agreed they would have never signed had they known where the well was going to end up. That would have prohibited the well from ever being put here. So what we have is a company that is just a basic liar. We have a well in our backyard that wasn't our choice at all. So every morning, once the leaves disappear, I'm going to sit on my deck and listen to a wellhead. It's real easy for the state to just throw up their hands and say, we're not responsible for this mess. Where they are. They're the ones that issued the permits, they're the ones that passed the bill. And it's a bad piece of legislation, period.